Hey, have you heard of the story of the woman of color in colonial Haiti who successfully presented her case in court that she was a free woman and won? Hi, I'm Andre Lamont, and I'm a genealogist who helps people to discover their history. I was working for a client recently and I came across this story and I wanted to share. So here's the story of Marie Victoire Moiseau. This story takes place in the parish of Petit Rivière de la Thibonite in colonial Haiti. It starts with Marie Victoire's mother, an enslaved black woman named Marie. Marie's enslaver's brother-in-law was a white man named Francois Moiseau. He pursued Marie so much so that he purchased her from his brother-in-law so that he can have her to himself. When he had Marie on his plantation, he liked her so much that he allowed her to live as if she were free on his property. Two things you need to know about slavery in colonial Haiti. Number one, slavery was matrilineal, meaning that it followed the condition of the mother. So if an enslaved woman gave birth to children, her children would be also enslaved. If that woman was free, then those children would be free. Number two, during this time, there were strict protocols about how masters could free their slaves. They had to get permission from the colonial administrators and pay a fee so that they can free them. Francois knew this and he promised Marie that he was going to free her. So in 1743, he wrote on a piece of paper his wishes about how he wanted to free her. The two go on to have 6 children together, including Marie Victoire. He passes Marie and his children as if they were free. All of Francois's family knew that he had Marie and those children on his plantation living as if they were free. His siblings act as godparents to the children that he fathered with Marie. In fact, Marie Victoire's godfather is her uncle, Philippe Moiseau. Keep that name in mind. Marie Victoire grows up as if she was free. She continues living amongst her white family members as if a free woman. She gets older and she begins a relationship with a white notary and has 2 children by him. In fact, the godfather of her daughter is Marie Victoire's uncle, Laurent Moiseau. Keep that name in mind. At some point, Francois dies, and Marie and her 6 children continue living as if they're free with the Moiseau family. Not too long after, Marie Victoire's godfather and uncle, Philippe Moiseau, passes away. He leaves a will and wants his brother, Laurent, to be the heir of his estate, and leaves wishes that his money be used to legally free Marie Victoire and 5 others, who are likely her other siblings. Laurent becomes heir, but he does not follow through with his brother's wishes. Instead, he wants Marie Victoire and the 5 others to, quote, work by their conduct to deserve it. Well, Marie Victoire did not like this. She starts getting vocal and she starts talking junk about her uncle and aunt. She's made, quote, the most insolent of speeches, end quote. Her aunt, by the way, is her daughter's godmother. So, Marie Victoire takes her daughter and 4 others, and they decide to run away since it was clear that Laurent was not going to legally protect them. Laurent Moiseau is livid at this point. He felt that they were ungrateful, and he wanted to make them see that their fate was determined by him. That's a real quote, by the way, from him. Laurent goes to the colonial administrators and he asks for their help by sending slave catchers to go retrieve Marie Victoire and the 5 others. He promised that he would be humane and that he would free them just as his brother had wished. The colonial administrators agree and they put a bounty on them. Word spreads and eventually Marie Victoire and the others learn that they're being hunted. So they discuss amongst themselves, what should they do? Should they go return back to Laurent and save themselves of the trouble of being caught, or stay away? Well, Marie Victoire refuses to go back to her uncle, and the others, they do. So Marie Victoire and her daughter stay away. Laurent was so pleased with the others who returned back to him that he went through the official process and freed them. Eventually, Marie Victoire and her daughter are captured by the runaway slave catchers. They bring her back to Laurent, and he jails her for a couple days to break her. He wanted to remind her that her fate was determined by him and that he had the power to free her. And so, therefore, he needed her to understand that she needed to do what he wanted her to do. But she wasn't broken. After being released, she continued popping off at the mouth, talking junk about her uncle and aunt. And she ran away for a second time. But once again, slave catchers were sent after her and they caught her. However, when she came back, she decided to play it differently this time. She stayed quiet, she was biding her time, and she wasn't going to go down without a fight though. But eventually her time came. In 1774, she heard that there was going to be a shift in power of the colonial administrators. So during the gap of time and power, she runs away a third time. Before she left, she got a hold of that paper her father had written back in 1743 that stated that he wanted her mother, Mai, to be free. This time, she runs away to the father of her daughter, the white royal notary. And with his help, she gets a copy of her baptismal record, the one that said that she was born free. Getting them notarized, she then presents her case in court that she was a free person of color. Well, the court ruled in Marie Victoire's favor. They determined that she was indeed, in fact, a free person. Not only that, she obtained a prohibition against her uncle from exhibiting any violence towards her in the future. They went even further to tell Laurent to leave her alone. But Laurent did not like this. He decided that he was going to appeal this decision by going to the highest court, the King of France in Versailles. He argued that the colonial administrators were disregarding laws that said that masters cannot free their slaves unless they had gotten written permission from colonial administrators. And he argued that Francois Moizot did not do this with Marie Victoire's mother, Marie. Furthermore, he also said that this decision that Marie Victoire was free went against the law that said that priests who were recording baptisms couldn't just record that they were free unless they presented legal proof that they were free. And there was no evidence that they had presented any legal proof that Marie was a free person who had given birth to a free child. Well, in December 1775, King Louis XVI made a decision. He said that Marie Victoire's mother, had not been legally freed. And when she gave birth to Marie Victoire, she was technically legally a slave, which meant that Marie Victoire had been a slave. Furthermore, when Marie Victoire had given birth, she, as a slave, that meant that the daughter that she gave birth to was also a slave. Remember, slavery was matrilineal, meaning it followed the condition of the mother. The king ruled that Marie Victoire and her daughter had to be sent back to Laurent as his slaves. It isn't known what happened to Marie Victoire when she returned back. That's where her story ends, unfortunately, in the archives. But this story highlights the tenacity of one woman to fight for her freedom in a slave society. Furthermore, it also highlights the fact that biological connections didn't mean anything for people of African ancestry in colonial Haiti.